from what I would love, this one, if you pair all the Bond films, this is pretty much the one that kind of stapled the grave with the action scenes, these over the top at the time stuff. I mean, the scene where Bond is getting chased by a helicopter and getting has to, you know, is literally 1,000 times nearly getting hit by the helicopter, even though it's the same 3 shots. That at the time was like expensive. It was like, oh my god, is Bond gonna make it? Is Bond gonna make it? Is Bond gonna make it? And then the train fight, like from today's standard, the train fight is like, okay, it's not the most spectacular thing in the world, but from a from that standards, from 1963 standards, that was probably the most like mind-blowing stuff in the world, because that was probably the first 2-minute fight. Because normally, like something like Dr. No, most of the time it was like, Bond grabs the guy's arm and punch him, and that's the end of the fight. This one has a long one. This one has like a 2-minute fight, which is really, and here's the thing, the build up to that fight, like the conversation between I forget the villain's name, like the Odd Job character and Bond, is really well done. And how, that line about, I'm not going to kill you the first time or the second time, not even the third, I'm not going to kill you till you get on your knees and kiss my foot. That, for me, was like, okay, that's some dagger way. That is some good written dialogue. The story of this movie is that, Bond, it needs to go to Russia to collect this like machine, and bring it back to MI6, but the problem is Spectre knows Bond is coming, and they are hiring a couple of assassins, basically a big assassin, like their ultimate soldier, to kill Bond. And they are also using this woman named Tatiana to basically do what Bond says, pretty much. And she, Tatiana believes she's doing it for her country, for Russia, but the truth is she's working for Spectre, well, knowing. And Tatiana, let's be honest, like, I'm probably gonna be a broken record every time until we say, oh my god, that's a cool female character. They weren't that fleshed out. Like, that pretty much was like, hey, hey, actor, to sit there, be pretty, and just make up with a main league actor when it's needed. That's pretty much what their role was at the time. They weren't fleshed out. They weren't that well developed. Tatiana clearly wasn't. And sadly, they dubbed her lines. Because like most of them, I think until like, I don't know, her not her Magic Secret Service, but Diamonds Are Forever, they dubbed someone's lines, and most of it was the women. It was mostly the women, mainly because they had accents, and they felt at the time that the audience wouldn't understand them, and so they just basically became the shell, let's say the appearance of the character, but not the voice of the character, if that makes any sense. And that's kind of shame. Like, I haven't checked, like, hey, this is what these people sound like, but it's one of those things like, oh, that could be cool if they stick by it. It's cool to see Q. It's the first time we ever see Q in a Bond film, and the gadgets ain't that spectacular. For once in a love, it's a knife comes out. Here's something that can turn into a rifle. Probably the gas thing is probably the most like specky thing, until Goldfinger and the Aston Martin top is behind it, really. Location wise, let's be honest, like, clearly in these first, like, the good chunk, like, half of these James Bond films, the exotic vacation was exotic vacation. There was no plural. And if there was, they found some cheap way to make it look like the place. Like in Dr. No, it was the Bahamas. Bond is going to be at the Bahamas. And everything else is going to be like sets, and we'll just say, Bond's in this location of the world. With this one is Russia. Bond's in Russia, and Bond, and when it's other places of the world, they just make sets and just say, hey, they take some stock footage and say, hey, we're in this part of the world. Clearly they didn't have the budget to do that. So, but at the time, seeing like just another part of the world was awesome. That was like something breathtaking once again. And here's the thing: these old movies, I always say, you had to say, hey, do you still enjoy these films? And I did.